So Nipsey, there's a conspiracy, a music conspiracy, and again, I'm not saying I believe in it or I'm not trying to promote it as facts, but there are a significant amount of people that do believe in this. There is a conspiracy that Nipsey Hussle and Left Eye's deaths are eerily being compared by fans. This isn't a coincidence. Now, this involves a herbalist named Dr. Sebi or Sebi. I'm not sure. There was a couple different ways of people that were pronouncing it, and he was a herbalist who came out of Honduras, and he made his claim to fame because he was putting together different herbs that he claimed cured AIDS, cancers, and other such, supposedly incurable diseases. So it was a, he's very, yes, herbalist, just a guy who smokes a lot of weed. Let's go, Honduras streamer. Murda. Is that their name, Murda? I don't think that they wouldn't be able to use that screen name on TikTok, just so you know. That would not be okay on TikTok. Okay, so let's oh yeah, we're already here. There we go. Murda Squad. Okay. Nice. What do they do? Are they music? Okay, so let's get into this. I'll reread this just for edit point. Nipsey Hussle and Left Eye's deaths are eerily being compared by fans. This isn't a coincidence. Oh, nice. The conversation emerging around the tragic passing of hip-hop and community icon Nipsey Hussle has stretched its voice into the controversy of the forthcoming Dr. Sebi documentary. As deduced by fans and industry counterparts alike, some believe that Victory Lap artist murder is directly connected to Dr. Sebi undertaking he revealed in what? Hold on, let me read that again. That as deduced by fans and industry counterparts alike, some believe that the Victory Lap artist's murder is directly connected to the Dr. Sebi undertaking he revealed in 2018. Okay, all right, we got it. Want to go to a play tonight? No, not at all. I don't want to go to a play tonight. I want to chill the fuck out. But Bon Bon will go with you, Reina, so no worries. For those unfamiliar with Dr. Sebi, Dr. Sebi was a Honduran herbalist who pioneered the cures and herbal healing powers for terminal illnesses such as AIDS and cancer with his findings. Known as one of the big pharma arch enemies, Dr. Sebi's research and work landed him in the midst of legal strife with prosecutors arguing falsehood against his practices. Nipsey planned to divulge the legacy of Dr. Sebi in the doc, a legacy that another fallen of dearly missed music icon tapped into before her death in 2002, TLC's Lisa Left Eye Lopes. On the internet reemerged a video, which this is the video of Left Eye talking about Sebi, which is about a minute long. So we'll give it a gander. Give it a gander. Oh, you whore.
The cure. And when he said those words, I said, how did I find out about Dr. Sebi? Well, it says in the Bible, ask and ye shall receive. And that's what I did. I didn't know who I was asking for, what I was asking for. All I knew was I had some questions that needed to be answered.
Yes, moving
and
Dutch.
One of them that was really, really heavy on my mind was the cure for anything. I just could not believe that there was not a cure for, I don't care what disease, especially AIDS. Could not believe it. And about a week later, I was in the studio talking to a producer friend of mine named Michael Anthony. And he just decided to tell me about a man that he knew who had the cure. And when he said those words, I said, there's an answer. He's got to be the one, because I was asking for the real thing. Coming to me telling me about this man, and the man was Dr. Sebi.
So this is Lisa Left Eye, proclaiming her love for Dr. Sebi. And yes, a Sebi. So Sebi, I guess, like if you're pronouncing it in the Spanish way, it would be Sebi. Yes, I will just ask AI to create a play instead, Reina. So no need to go and see one in real life. I'll get AI to write something special for us. In one of the clips circulating from the conversation, the TLC rapstress discusses how she came to discover him. She said she prayed to God for answers, presumably regarding healing and spirituality, and she found them in Dr. Sebi, I don't know. I just could not believe that there was not a cure for, I don't care what the disease, especially AIDS, Left Eye said in the clip. In her last days, she also documented her time spent in Honduras seeking out the doctor and following cleansing practices and learned from him. God, I'm talking like an idiot. This was before her death in La Ceiba, I don't know, where Lopes died from a sudden car crash, part of which was filmed by a cameraman in the front passenger seat during the time of the accident. The untimeliness of both Nipsey and Left Eye's fatalities are undeniable and difficult to grasp given their promising legacies. But some fans are convinced that their deaths had less to do with coincidence and far more to do with conspiracy and everything to do with a common denominator, the support and disclosure of Dr. Sebi. And then, so here, I don't know who this is. How deep is it? Very fucking deep. Two artists have now been killed after vowing to tell the story of Dr. Sebi, a Left Eye Nipsey Hussle. The money isn't in the cure, it's in the medicine. More money in a nation that's sick. More money in a nation that's sick than healthy. Over the last 3 years, over 50 holistic doctors have died mysteriously. Dr. Sebi was arrested and died a few days later from pneumonia. How does the healthiest man on earth die of pneumonia after a few days of being arrested for having too much money on him while in the airport? That shit is deep. Left Eye died in Honduras. Left Eye died in Honduras? No. On her way to see Dr. Sebi, died in Honduras. Nipsey Hussle was going to make a documentary on Dr. Sebi. Now he's been shot 6 times. It's a war and they're strategic. It's not a coincidence that Nipsey Hussle was killed while working on the same documentary that Left Eye was when she died. Stay woke. Left Eye from TLC died making a Sebi documentary. Now it's Nipsey. Man, this is too coincidental. Big Pharma can suck my nuts. Dr. Sebi made America look stupid on healthcare. Yeah, she was on a retreat. She was filming it. Oh, shit. I didn't know it was in Honduras. I always thought that Left Eye died in a fire. Left Eye got involved with Dr. Sebi, then she dies. The 29 doctors he was training all died. Then they killed him. Then they kill him. Now Nipsey gets involved with Sebi and is mysteriously shot and killed. I'm sorry, but it's obvious what they all had in common. I don't know. This is is this the government? Oh, she was reborn. So we have this conspiracy that because this man, Dr. Sebi, who, by the way, was never a doctor, he was self-proclaimed doctor, he's self-taught, and he has experience with a lot of different people. He's helped a lot of different celebrities over the years, like Michael Jackson, John Travolta. Let's see. Let's get AI to list the people, because I did this before. Let me see if I have this. The fire was something she started because she was mad at her boyfriend. Oh yeah, she burned down the house. She was dating wasn't she dating a? She was dating a football player or something, right? Okay, that's not what I wanted. Thanks for nothing. Okay, so Dr. Sebi. So here is the celebrity herbalist. This is obituary. I don't want his obituary. Okay, well, let's find a list of people that he's helped, and then we'll move on. I agree, MD. If he won't listen, make him listen. Make a list of celebrities that claim to be helped by Dr. Sebi. Dr. Sebi was a controversial herbalist and healer who claimed to have a cure for AIDS and other diseases. He also promoted vegan diet and herbal supplements as a way of healing the body. Some celebrities that claim to be helped by Dr. Sebi are Michael Jackson. Dr. Sebi claimed that he cured Jackson's addiction to painkillers such as Demerol and morphine using African bioelectronic cell food therapy program. So Michael Jackson got off opiates, and unfortunately he did die from narcotics, right? He did end up dying from, penthazole or whatever. Eddie Murphy said he was treated herbal products and diet. John Travolta was also treated with his herbal products and diet. Lisa Left Eye Lopes, the TLC singer, was a follower of Dr. Sebi's teachings and visited his center in Honduras several times. She died in a car accident near his center in 2002. Does seem a little weird. Celebrities? Do we need celebrities? Celebrities? We do need celebrities. Teddy Pendergrass, the soul singer, was paralyzed from a car accident in 1982 and saw Dr. Sebi help to regain his health. That's interesting. How did Teddy get involved here? 10 things to know about legendary natural healer Dr. Sebi. I don't fucking know how to say his name. He was not a medical doctor or a licensed healthcare practitioner, which is always my favorite part of this. This is Teddy. Hold on. Let's see what this says. Come on. Oh, God damn it.
Has been dogged for years by reports that he was an FBI informant. Sharpton has been dogged for years by reports that he was an FBI informant, helping the government go after boxing promoter Don King and music executives. Now we learn he also went after mobsters, including the legendary Vincent the Chin Gigante.
You know what's funny about that? Well, that's such an odd article to have, or odd video to have in the middle of this article. I think Al Sharpton was around when... Was Al Sharpton... Oh yeah, never mind. Al Sharpton. Anyways, he claimed he had a cure for AIDS, treated high-profile clientele. Okay, this did nothing for us. Okay, so here's some of the celebrities that he supposedly helped. And he has it's really interesting, man. So, let's watch a little bit of this documentary. I'm actually going to go pee, so I'm going to play this. I've seen some of this already, so I'm not missing much, but here's a little bit on him.
Dr. Sebi was born Alfredo Bowman in a village in Spanish Honduras. He never had any formal schooling.
I'll be right back,
He was
guys.
self-educated. After coming to the United States, he was diagnosed with asthma, diabetes, impotency, and obesity. After unsuccessful treatments with conventional doctors and traditional Western medicine, Sebi was led to an herbalist in Mexico.
So he told me that I could not eat meat any longer, no lamb. I could not drink any milk. And I abstained from all these things, and here I am now at 82. I'm happier than I've ever been in my life.
After being healed from his conditions, he began studying and cataloging herbs around the world. As a result, he created natural vegetation cell food compounds that he claimed would cure people from diseases like herpes and AIDS.
The first patient was a brother in Boston named Michael White. I said, well, I must send him the compound. I removed from the man's diet lactose, uric acid, and carbonic acid, milk, starches, and meat. By removing these things from his diet and then cleansing his cells, he began to see recovery in 24 hours. When I told my mama that I had cured my 13 AIDS patient, she said, they're gonna get you.
In the 1980s, Dr. Sebi ran a variety of ads stating that his institute cured AIDS, sickle cell, lupus, blindness, herpes, cancer, and other incurable diseases. The ad caught the eye of the Food and Drug Administration, and they sued Dr. Sebi for false advertisement and practicing without a license.
You defended yourself. Of course I did. I knew that I had sufficient evidence to prove my position.
During the trial, the judge requested Dr. Sebi provide one witness for each disease that he claimed he cured. Each witness had to bring documentation that showed they had a disease from one doctor and documentation that they no longer had the disease from a separate doctor. Dr. Sebi was able to provide over 70 witnesses. He was not taken to court to prove he cured AIDS, but many say he still did so within this trial because his witnesses presented verified medical documents proving they had been healed after they said they sought Sebi's help. After hours of questioning and testing Dr. Sebi's compounds, he was found not guilty because his products were essentially food and he was not diagnosing patients. Dr. Sebi took on the Attorney General and won.
Not only did I prove scientifically, but I had the diagnostic sheets, and I do have them today. And those diagnostic sheets didn't come.
I forgot that I put that in there, Movie Dutchman. Okay, give me a second. All right, we'll do that. We'll do an AI rap real quick. Anyways, Dr. Sebi, you know what? I want to get through this segment. So let's get through the segment. I'll do an AI rap after the segment because I don't want to. I don't want it to be in the middle of it, but I will do it. I will do the AI rap, which is very funny. But okay, so this dude. Here's the thing that's weird about Dr. Sebi, is that he was actually taken to court. Which I think this is what they're talking about right now. I missed the first.
For me, they came from their school, their American medical accredited school.
When you look at the court documents, it says Dr. Sebi, Alfredo Bowman, which is my father, my aunt Bowman, and Fig Tree Products. That's what was proven in court. You know what I mean? That's what won court. They sent that to Lancaster Laboratories, and it was proven as electric cell food. That's why if you look at the Fig Tree, we call it electric cell food. That's what's been proven in court.
A man known as Dr. Sebi claims to have found the cure for several life-threatening diseases, including AIDS. Too good to be true? Well, you be the judge. The lump in Myrtle Rick's left breast is gone.
I haven't had any symptoms or problems or anything.
Sabrina Peterson's son no longer disabled by sickle cell anemia.
He has a lot of energy. I have to make him rest.
Disease is cured by this man. His name is Dr. Sebi, but he won't find a medical degree hanging over his wall. Instead, a certificate of healing.
How did Dr. Sebi...
He doesn't have a degree, but he has a certificate of healing that looks like he just printed that shit off somewhere. That's tight though.
He was healing people of these incurable diseases. The basis behind his approach is cleaning the body of excess mucus, which is believed to be the root of all disease. Sebi stated, "Our research reveals that all manifestation of disease finds its genesis when mucous membrane has been compromised. For example, if there's excess mucus in the bronchial tubes, the disease is bronchitis. In the joints, arthritis." Basically, he believed disease will arise in the body when there is an overaccumulation of this stagnant toxin. He said acid creates toxic mucus and congests the system, leading to inflammation. Sebi preached an alkaline diet will do the opposite and support vitality.
My approach is an intracellular cleansing. You have people eating hog, potatoes, rice, and beans. But if we take this substance to a biochemist, he's not going to find any food in any of these substances.
If something is of usefulness in my structure, in my biological structure, it must necessarily be electrical. And the only substance that is electrical are those substances that come from the forest because of the jungle. Because the molecular structure is complete, it's not broken. how I found out that black people should be vegetarians, because when I begin to remove you from that meat and that stuff, that grease, you begin to say in 1 week how the pain that you had for years begin to disappear.
His family claims for 30 years he reversed a range of incurable ailments using his compounds and his nutritional approach. He also claimed to cure blindness. He shared this story during one of his speeches.
Young man? I said, yes, sir. I heard that you've been experimenting with herbs. He said, yes. Well, I'm blind. I'm blind for 10, 11 years. Could you help me? I said, I'll try. If you make me see, I give you $1 million. I gave the man the substance. When am I going to see? I said, about Friday. Now, why did I select Friday until this day? I don't know. But I was so sure of myself. But how could a boy that didn't go to school be so sure of himself? The man went home with the medicine. And the Wednesday, good morning, young man. I raised my right hand. You say you raise your right hand. I wink my left eye. You say you wink your left eye. I said, the man is seeing. At that point of my journey,
He does. He's
I couldn't
vegan.
explain that. I know it's a bunch of herbs that cleanse the man's body, but they were all alkali plants.
He also said he was able to heal people of mental illness, something he himself struggled with.
I became very sick. I was angry. I want to blow my brains out. I want to kill my wife. And she was sweet.
Oh shit! I became very angry. I want to kill myself. I want to kill my wife. Oh shit! I want to kill that bitch. That dirty bitch.
Woman in the world. Why I want to kill her? Because I was sick. You could be offering and deploying things that are hurtful to others and you're totally unaware. I was in what you call a psychiatric ward.
Oh, really?
And paranoia. Later to walk out of it, to heal that.
Every disease begins right here. I mean, right here. I don't care if you're blind or if you're insane. It's right here.
The gut and brain are
acid
connected,
state
though.
Influences the brain and the central nervous system. It changes the image in your eyes. You do not see with your eyes. Your eyes is only the lens that the brain looks through. What the brain sees is what you're gonna see. I had a lady from Mexico, and that lady would say, no, don't let them take me, no. And there was nobody there. I made an extract from the Cascara Sagrada. She said that when she went to the bathroom upon taking the Cascara Sagrada extract,
It's still there.
she looked in the commode and she saw some berries that she ate 12 years prior. They were lodged and they became molded and sent off that negative message. Again, the mucous membrane in the intestine were compromised. She's no longer crazy.
His wife Ma'a gave him the name Sebi, and locals began calling him doctor after they saw him heal fatal illnesses.
There was a little boy that was dying. It was his spleen, but nobody knew it was his spleen, and he laid there, and he was like 5 years old. This is Dominica again. Mm-hmm. And so he was laying there, and he could hardly walk. And the doctors had said he was going to die. And so we gave him the herbs, and he was up and around. When people are healed, everybody is Dr. Sebi, Dr. Sebi.
Because of the act that he's performing. You're helping someone to achieve wellness. And so in that act, one identifies it with a doctor. So they begin to call him that.
So, just giving you a little bit of background on it. And so when I was looking into like his what he was actually accused of, because he was taken to court a few times and he actually won the case. And let me see. I think I actually wrote it down. I think I actually did copy what I got down. So here, let me go back over here. I didn't. Awesome. Good job, Mike. You're awesome. You're so good at what you do. You're so good at this, Mike. I didn't. So let's go back over here. And this will actually lead us to the article. Did Dr. Sebi actually cure diseases? I think this should give us what we want. I think I spelled diseases wrong. Yes, I did. I did spell it wrong. I spelled it wrong. I'm itchy. He does look malnourished. But I think he's just like a skinny dude. Okay, we know that. He promoted plant-based diet. However, there's no scientific evidence to support the claims of his products. He was sued by the New York Attorney General in 1987 for making false claims and practicing medicine without a license. But wait, something came out of that, though. I don't like that they didn't tell us what came out of that, because he was actually taken to jail, he was actually taken to... he was actually put on the stand, and he was actually able to prove, and the doctor, the judge actually dropped the case against him. So I don't like how they. Hold on, let me see. Where there was an article that I found. Where is it? Here it is. What is it? Is it Journey to the Center of Sea Moss? You'll still see Dr. Sebi. Get out of here. Is this it? God damn it. So he killed his wife and went to prison. No, he ended up going to prison for money laundering. But people say that was just bullshit, because money laundering, they were just saying he had too much money on him at the time at the airport. So they just said it was money laundering, sent him to prison. He ended up dying in prison. So, the story is part of an image. Dr. Sebi's legacy changes depending on whom you ask. To some, the controversial self-taught healer was a visionary, a man who claimed he cured AIDS, sickle cell anemia, cancer, asthma, and on occasion blindness. He was also the man who was dragged in court. Here, I think this is it. He was dragged in court on multiple occasions. In 1987, he was charged for practicing medicine without a license, a case that he won, and then he was hit with a civil lawsuit from New York Attorney General's office preventing him from making his so-called therapeutic claims in New York newspapers. He was an herbalist, pathologist, and biochemist who, by the way, he has no degrees in any of those, whose popularization of the alkaline electric diet and herbal compounds offered a different path for people with ailments. All right. And yet, to others, he was far from above board. Doubters called him a grifter and a fraud, while many skeptics, sympathetic to his cause, reasoned that he was more a master storyteller than a salesman. He was a doctor who was not technically a doctor, at least not according to Western medicine or certification. But he did say he cured himself of mental illness, impotency, and obesity through the same herbs and diet he touted to others until his death. Born Alfredo Bowman in Honduras, Dr. Sebi was the person who said on live radio that carrots were an artificial vegetable, the figure whose name and likeness are still associated with nature's cure-all, sea moss. But one of the main places Dr. Sebi's legacy exists, a lot less debated, Los Angeles, his home base for decades, the city whose openness and unconventionality and hunger for information served as a muse for his holistic teachings has kept him alive in so many ways, even 6 years after his death. Bring up Sebi's name in certain rooms in LA, especially ones where dried herbs were lined the walls and containers of shea butter stocked the shelves. I see. Why do they kill the holistic? Okay, and you'll see people's eyes light up with recognition and theories. Why do they kill all holistic doctors, said Nipsey Hussle on The Breakfast Club in 2018. 2 years after Dr. Sebi became ill in a Honduran prison where he was being detained on money laundering charges, and according to the Associated Press, died in his cell. You're short-stopping their grind. Dr. Sebi was seen in so many communities in LA as an underdog hero and mythic figure the man didn't want you to know about. People saw that the man, which is, like the man, Big Brother or whatever. People saw him as a champion of the truth or a truth. If he had healed himself, maybe we could too. If he didn't need the systems that had failed us, If he didn't need the systems that had failed us, maybe we didn't either. And, you know, and there's this whole thing, too, about how if you see a threat, you eliminate it. What was it? Didn't Ford... There was a car that was invented that the big three decided to conspire against it and shut it down. And it was no longer a viable car, and it was a threat to them. What was that car's name? Electric vehicles have been shut down in the past because of big oil and the automobile industry. So it's not something that's out of the ordinary, or not something that's not done, where these corporate interests will go ahead and eliminate their competition. Now, again, I'm not saying that I believe what Dr. Sebi was doing. I don't know. I can't say for sure. He had a lot of people who had his back, though. Listen closely and you might catch Sebi's ghost still whispering his teachings throughout the city. Okay, that's lame. All right, so let's check out this video over here where he's talking about the court case, which what he's saying is true, because I saw the fucking article. I just need to find it again. So he actually is showing documents where he actually cured AIDS, and this is what happened on the stand too when he was brought out in court. He actually proved that he brought in 70 witnesses and proved that he actually cured them of the disease. Now, I don't know if he cured them or if it became undetectable, but the case was dropped. I actually want to look that up. Let me see. Dr. Sebi case 1987, 70 witnesses. Let's see if it comes up. Man found cure for all diseases. Where was that? There was an LA Times article. How many were not cured? That is the more question. Well, that is a good question, Moving Dutchman, because true, natural carrots are white. Oh yeah, yeah. Well, most of our food has been molested, right? It's been genetically modified to taste better. I was just kidding about carrots. Really? Well, I didn't know. I didn't know if they were white or not, but I know that there was originally originally oranges weren't that sweet. Originally apples were bitter. Original, and they were sort of bred over the years to be sweeter or whatever. There's all kinds of stuff that started out different, and then as we bred them, and then as we started to get more technologically advanced, we started genetically modifying these things. So there are things. It wasn't like corn, like not very big at all. It was like this little tiny son of a bitch. Anyways, I don't want to get too far off, but god damn it, where's that article? I wish this son of a bitch would have wish AI would have linked us to it, but the stupid whore didn't. Anyways, let's go over here and check out this video. So this is him talking about his court, his trial.
These documents, what they show is that we cure AIDS from a positive to a negative HIV level. Here is one. This is from the Italian hospital. HIV positive. Hospital Vicente di Antoni. He is positive.
Look, it just said, hold on. It just says HIV positive written.
Stage from the same hospital, the same young man, Oswald Zavala. He is
HIV negative. That's his proof. That's his proof. Look, there it is. Somebody wrote that down. All right. Dr. Sebi won a New York Supreme Court case against the Gents for claiming to cure diseases which were classified by medical science. Wow, this is you can tell that this is a very, very reliable source because of all of the misspellings. Let me get away from it. So that was him just showing his diagram. That was the worst case. I need to find that article. Hold on. Let me see if I can re-ask this whore. Tell me about the court case that Dr. Sebi won, proving his herbs worked. Let me see if something comes up on this. Maybe we'll get some AI documents showing us the truth. It's the truth. According to web source, Dr. Sebi, he was sued by a New York attorney practicing medicine without a license and false claims he cured AIDS. He was acquitted by a jury when the state could not prove he had given medical diagnosis. He also brought 77 witnesses who testified that he had cured them from different diseases. However, he was still considered a quack by licensed doctors and consumer protection. So this is what I was talking about. Oh, okay. Sick. Okay, so they couldn't prove that he was diagnosing his patients, but he didn't necessarily prove that he did cure them? Let me see. Okay, we just went there. And poisoned in prison for it. So this one's saying he was poisoned in prison. This one, I kind of... Let me see. All right, I just want to save that. For the past few years, we've made many videos and articles on great men who tried an alternative, alleviate the suffering of humanity by healing the body and treating all kinds of diseases which Western medicine deemed uncurable. From Royal Rife, the man who created the frequency machine. Okay, this is just another fucking weird thing, isn't it? Sebi, a holistic healer and herbalist who discovered a natural cure for AIDS, cancer, and all sorts of diseases, was also ridiculed, sued, and eventually thrown into prison where he was allegedly poisoned. Now, they're saying he was allegedly poisoned. He helped Steven Seagal. That's hilarious. Two of these celebrities, famed rapper Nipsey Hussle and singer Lisa Lopes, were so grateful for the guidance and healing they accomplished thanks to Dr. Sebi that they wanted to express their gratitude by spreading awareness of his healing methods and cures. Nipsey Hussle announced that he would fund and create an entire documentary dedicated to Dr. Sebi. However, before the documentary was finished, Nipsey Hussle was found dead, shot multiple times. Now, he was shot by Eric Holder, who was found guilty, and there was a whole trial about this. And, I don't know if Eric Holder, it seemed like it was some gang-related bullshit that happened between them. But there has been proxies or patsies before. Those types of things do happen. if they want to assassinate someone, they could, technically get someone to do it. But it seems like Eric Holder was just some like dipshit gang member who got pissed off at Nipsey, probably was a little jealous of Nipsey, and decided that he had to save face by murdering him outside of his vintage clothes store in, I believe it was, what's the name of that place in Los Angeles? Compton, California. Court case could be a play after. Yeah, exactly. It's just made up. Lisa Lopes was working on a documentary about her life and her spiritual journey, in which Dr. Sebi played a considerable part, but unfortunately, right after meeting him, she also mysteriously died in a car accident. But who was the enigmatic man known as Dr. Sebi, and what was so special about his healing practices? So he was able to beat that case, but I thought it was because he was able to provide documents that showed that he was curing people and not that he was diagnosing, or they couldn't prove that he was diagnosing a problem. That seems like a technicality. I'm not a lawyer. What the fuck do I know? Here's the lawsuit. Eventually, Dr. Sebi's fame became too big in the United States, and in 1988, the FDA filed a lawsuit against him for practicing without a license and false advertisement. While it was no secret that Dr. Sebi didn't have any license or medical degree, was he really false advertising? In the ads he ran, he claimed that he could cure cancer, leukemia, lupus, herpes, AIDS, and many other diseases, some of which were deemed incurable. Dr. Sebi took on the Attorney General. No, I don't want to do that. Dr. Sebi took on the Attorney General of New York in the Supreme Court, and the judge asked Sebi to provide one witness for each of the diseases he claimed to have cured. In addition to each witness, had to bring a certified document from an independent doctor that proves that he had the specific disease, together with another document from a different doctor proving that the witness was now cured. The judge, the Attorney General, and all the people following the case were shocked when 77 witnesses joined Dr. Sebi in court in person, bringing the required documents proving that he cured them all. Although Dr. Sebi was questioned for hours and different laboratories tested his herbal remedies, he was eventually found not guilty. So that's what I was trying to get to, that shit. What is this? Celebrities cured by Dr. Sebi. So the trial backfired and made him even more popular. He even started working with many celebrities like Michael Jackson, Steven Seagal, Eddie Murphy, John Travolta, Magic Johnson, and others. Dr. Sebi helped Michael Jackson overcome addiction and morphine, we know that. More lawsuits would follow, but the popularity of Dr. Sebi was nonetheless growing. The FDA could not stop him as more and more people backed his claims and stated he cured them. Lisa Lopes was one of the many grateful patients of Dr. Sebi. He helped overcome alcoholism, excessive smoking, and depression. As a result, Lisa's life was utterly transformed, and she often said that Dr. Sebi opened her eyes. Lisa wanted to repay him by spreading the information about him and his healing methods while also sharing her transformation. So she shared her experience. Later on, Lisa started to work on a documentary about her life in which Dr. Sebi and the Usha village played a considerable part. The arrest, Dr. Sebi. Magic Johnson wasn't cured, though. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like but Magic Johnson doesn't have AIDS anymore. I'm pretty sure he doesn't have AIDS anymore. Magic Johnson no longer has AIDS. For eons, tongues have been wagging about former Magic Johnson pictured. He has managed to look so healthy, having much vigor despite being diagnosed with HIV, the virus that causes AIDS. Now, mega entrepreneur has finally decided to put an end to the whisper surrounding his health. Okay. Let's see. Not AIDS. Oh, yeah. You're right. My bad. Does Magic Johnson still have HIV? Does he still have the HIV? Not full-blown AIDS, but just the HIV. Oh, there you go. He has public advocate, successful businessman. Some online guy. He has said that he has contracted HIV from unprotected sex, not from a vaccine, as some online claims have falsely suggested. He has also credited his survival to the advances of medicine and the support of his wife, Cookie. Okay, so, yeah, I mean, he still has HIV, so, you know, still living with HIV. So he didn't cure him. There you go. There's one that he didn't cure, right? The attacks on Dr. Sebi started to increase, and Attorney General's office even sent undercover agents to pretend to be patients in need of healing so they could find any irregularities with Dr. Sebi's practices. On May 28, 2016, Dr. Sebi was arrested at the airport on money laundering charges because he was carrying $37,000 in cash. He, his friends, family, and patients all denied the charges of money laundering. Nonetheless, Sebi was placed in prison. At the time, Dr. Sebi's company was making vast amounts of money from the healing remedies, while Sebi himself was making a lot of money from personal healing sessions with all kinds of people, many of whom were celebrities. Therefore, all that was needed to set Dr. Sebi free of the charges was a document from his company proving the source of the money. His family repeatedly contacted the company to get the required documents. However, no one from the company responded to their calls or tried to help Dr. Sebi in any way. Usually, when a high-profile person like Dr. Sebi is arrested on charges like money laundering, he should quickly get a court date set up for a hearing and a bail he can pay to stay out of custody by the time of the trial. Dr. Sebi received neither, as no court date was set and no bail was allowed. He was treated as he was some vicious murderer, not a healer. All he could do is stay in the awful conditions of the prison and wait. After a couple months, Dr. Sebi told his daughter that they were trying to poison him with the food they were giving him in prison. Although he was 82 years old, everyone knew he was in excellent health, and he constantly demonstrated that. However, in August 2016, authorities stated that Dr. Sebi contracted pneumonia and died in prison. Shortly after his death, the company he created from nothing, that same company that did nothing to help him, trademarked his name and stole his legacy. Many people, including Dr. Sebi's first wife and his oldest daughter, stated that the remedies his company started to sell are not the original healing formula. Consumers also confirmed that the recipe was altered after many of them had terrible reactions and side effects. Oh shit. The significant threat Dr. Sebi posed to the multi-billion-dollar medical industries that relies on continued sickness and treatments by chemicals in unnatural ways was over. They finally managed to silence Dr. Sebi forever and his legacy. The major newspapers didn't even mention his death. How is it possible, considering Dr. Sebi proved in court that he could cure cancer, leukemia? Okay. Why didn't this great man receive any notoriety? And this is a society that keeps cures a secret so they can continue to sell medication for huge profits is not a real society, but a huge mental asylum. Doesn't sound good together. Those words don't sound good together like quotes usually do, you know. I probably will use this. What was I going to do? There was another thing I was going to do. Oh, I know what I want to do. Is there any former patients of Dr. Sebi that claim he was a fraud? Let's see if there's anybody out there saying that he didn't do shit for me. Oh, good one. Canceled. And his moving Dutchman has canceled Dr. Sebi and his herbs. According to web search, Dr. Sebi, he was considered a quack by licensed doctor. He was sued by the state of New York. Yes, we know that. I could not find any former patients of Dr. Sebi who claimed he was a fraud, but there are many critics and skeptics who have challenged his claims and methods. Some of his supporters have alleged that he was killed by a conspiracy to silence him and prevent the cures from reaching the public. So there's nobody really out there who's saying that he didn't help them. So that's interesting. You would think that there would be a ton of people out there being like, you know, if he was some sort of fraud, and I'm not saying that he wasn't a fraud, but you would think that there would be a gang of people out there who would be like, hey, that's bullshit. There's also this Dr. Gershon, and I think he was actually, but the Gershon method is it's sort of on the same level, but they don't use herbs, they use food, and they use a lot of juice, like juicing, curing cancer by juicing, eating food that's not inflammatory. So we can check out the Gershon. I just asked, is the Gershon method a fraud? So we'll see what's up with that. What's up with that? Hey, what's up with that? I heard about the Gershon method. Gershon therapy is a natural alternative treatment system that claims to treat cancer and chronic diseases by changing the diet and nutrient intake, detoxifying the body with enemas. Yeah, they take coffee enemas and taking supplements. Okay, so there was supplements involved. It was developed by Dr. Max Gershon in the early 1900s and is still promoted by his daughter Charlotte Gershon and the Gershon Institute, which is in Tijuana, Mexico. However, there is no scientific evidence to support the effectiveness or safety of the Gershon therapy for treating cancer and other disease. The therapy is based on pseudo-scientific idea that alkaline foods can prevent disease by controlling the acid in the body. The therapy also involves consuming large amounts of raw juices, which cause nutritional deficiencies, electrolyte imbalances, and infections. What? The use of coffee enemas can cause dehydration, colitis, sepsis, oh Jesus, and even death. Therefore, the Gershon therapy cannot be considered a fraud that exploits vulnerable patients that gives them false hope. It is not recommended by any reputable medical organization and is illegal in some countries. So there you go. Cancel coffee. Movie Dutchman has canceled coffee. I almost drank coffee before I started today, but I didn't. And it wasn't coffee. It was, what's that shit called? I don't know. It's that green matcha, I think. I think it's called matcha. So, you know, there's a lot of weird stuff going on. Nick Cannon he wants to take up the mantle and finish the documentary that Nipsey Hussle was on. Now, do I think that Nipsey Hussle and Lisa Left Eye Lopes was murdered because they love Dr. Sebi? No, I don't necessarily think that, but it's not outside of the realm of possibilities. There was definitely some. I mean, look at what we do to people who dissent on a high level. We murdered them, right? MLK, obviously the government had something to do with that. JFK, right? John F. Kennedy, he was assassinated. There's some weird shit going on there. The CIA and LBJ probably had him murdered because they thought they could do it better, I guess. And he wanted to dismantle the CIA as well. And he talked out about secret societies and shit. So, you know, when you have people who talk out and dissent and they gather enough steam, they murder the fuck out of them. And why not, right? Like if you're like the CIA and the government are here in the U.S. government. I firmly believe that we're just the government is just a arm of corporate interest, and so if something is becoming between profit and in the company and profit, like they're gonna eliminate that. Rap about it and close the book out of Dr. Sebi. I'm just saying, moving judgment. I'm just saying that it's not impossible that this happened. Also, when you think about Eric Holder, who murdered Nipsey Hussle, there have been people who have been programmed by the CIA. I know I'm getting out there, guys, but there's an awesome book about Charlie Manson and how they sort of trained him and how the CIA was using LSD to brainwash people into doing their bidding. And they think that there's a strong possibility that Charles Manson was one of those people who was doing that. Who's that book by? Charles Manson book about LSD, Jolly West. Chaos. It's called Chaos. It is called Chaos. It's a great book. Would you volunteer for this LSD brainwash? Fuck no. I hate LSD, man. LSD can go fucking sniff paint. I'm not here for it. I am here for Digidogs and fucking coffee enemas. Let's go.